Vice Chancellor, Ved Prakashji, and all the dignitaries in front, faculty, students. Such a beautiful thought process we have heard about from Mr. Ved Prakash a few minutes back. I know you can't expect anything from a policeman. Very often, whenever I go to address such august house, it reminds me of the book by Aldous Huxley, The Brave New World. I'm sure most of you have read that book, and I like that book very much because Huxley is my very favorite writer. And in that book, he has said it very nicely, about what is going to happen in the future world. In future, he says that, generally there will be 4 or 5 categories of people only. The first category, he named it as alpha. Not the alpha you have been hearing. It's that notation, alpha, beta, gamma, theta, delta, and all those. So is that the most wise people would be the alpha people. Then next comes beta, next comes theta, then last category of people, according to their choices, according to their occupation, profession, and faculties. But he has, said these 5 categories of people. Last category is the delta people. I think delta or gamma, whatever. So the last category of people have very interesting faculties. These are the people that do not like beauty. They do not like the music, they don't like the paintings, they don't like arts, they don't like anything good about life. And their occupation will be, can you guess what? What? They will be the policeman of the society. So I belong to that delta category. So it's a wrong forum for me probably, but it's a good learning experience for me basically. So he has said very important things about framing the curriculum for the courses and what the education should be. I'm not very good at talking about in education, but one thing is very clear, that the education curriculum, the choice of education curriculum will depend on the type of society you want to have. If you want to have a society to be run by all these delta, theta, gamma people, then you choose that type of curriculum. If you want to have it, the world of alpha category people, then you choose that. So all of you are so such good authors, such good talented people, choose accordingly. And I will talk about 1, 2, 3, or some very little things about life and concerning life. See, when, oh, by the way, very interesting, once I was talking to some people like this in Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. I was meeting the people I was delivering a talk to the country heads of Ericsson company, 29 of them, all foreign nationals. So they came and I was speaking there about innovations. Then when I came out, I heard a story. 2 room bearers, they were debating amongst themselves. One room bearer asked, the next one, he was asking, who is this man speaking? Then the other room bearer said, kahan hai aadmi? Where? Aadmi kahan hai? बोला नहीं, that person who is speaking there in the classroom. So वो तो आदमी नहीं, वो तो पुलिस वाला है. You know? So the policeman even is not considered as an army, you know. So I belong to that category again. I keep on highlighting my status. So what I'm saying basically is, all of you have just heard. I also heard about the Vice Chancellor's report about how in 26 years an institute from 57 guys, it has increased to 4,000 plus. Such a wonderful journey. Why? Why you have come to this institute? What is the basic reason? What made you come here? I feel the only thing is that you have a trust in this institute, because you trust that this institute will give you some different elements, some different components which will make your life good. Say this institute will give you good accessibility to knowledge. They will give you, updating the entire plethora of different subjects. They will take you to the horizon of good placement, of course, good job. So it's basically a trust building, that you have to trust something or somebody, some institute, some people to be in this society. By the way, it just come to my mind when Mr. Petrakas was talking about the value, the virtue of education. He said a very good thing about the social change and things like that. See, if you remember the Delors Commission's report of 1996, they did talk about the 4 pillars of education. The number 1 was to know that you already know. I'm sure you have known a lot of things. Then the first pillar is to know, second pillar is to do. After that you will go out and do a lot of things. And to be, how you can be a good human being to be in the society. The 4th pillar is to live together. How we will live in a society, how do we live with our communities, that portion I think has come to be very, very important component of education. There comes the trust. Now trust is simply what? Trust is basically relationship. You believe in particular sort of relationship. That is what is trust. Simply, you buy a particular item, you buy a particular good which you trust to be beneficial to you. Say for example, if I read an advertisement of hair oil which can grow new hair, I'll buy it. You know the logic why I would like to buy that. Such sort of trust is there in terms of in any consumeristic society. You have trust in your personal life. You have got to have trust in the community. Now, there's a huge question of trust building. How much trustworthy you are, that will not come in your mark sheet to be given to you by Mr. Jain Saab of this university, right? So I will talk about certain elements of the mark sheets which are invisible, which will not come in the mark sheet at all. Trust is something which doesn't come in your mark sheet. But until and unless you have that trustworthiness, it's very difficult to run to have a proper life. So, you know what? When you join a particular service, there's a question of trust, whether you're going to, the lack of trust has really engulfed us in all the aspects of our life. We can't trust the doctor. because we feel that the medicine he will be giving us is basically the pharmaceutical company driven medicine, right? That is the wrongly, rightly is a different matter, but I'm saying some trust leakage is there. Of course, I don't know whether you trust the policeman or not. I'm leaving it up to you. But if you look at the 2019, that report from World Bank on the survey of, the trust survey, which are the professions people trust. If you look at that global survey by World Bank, you will see that police people live little higher than the civil servants. Feel good, no? And teachers are higher than us, don't worry. So the whole question of trust, but nobody is having 100% trust, no profession. We have to live in a society where there is a leakage of trust. So trust, we understand that you have to have that particular faculty of life which will help you in living in a society today and tomorrow. Now, I'm not talking about the personal trust, private life trust, and things like that. All this history about Clinton and things like that. We'll not go into those things. But I'll say there are a lot of good surveys because you are going to join some company, you are going to join some good multinationals, or you are going to do your own startups, whatever, or you are going to be teaching or whatever. Now, there also the trust matters, as I said, but to what extent a university helps you in bringing this sort of a faculty in your life? In workplace, say when I was, the common thing about Mr. Prakash and me is both of us are Fulbright scholars, no? I felt good. He's, so while I was a Fulbright scholar in the Pennsylvania State University, I wanted to join World Bank in Washington. So one of the vice presidents called me. He said, "You come, we'll have lunch together. Then you'll go for interview and all." I said, "Fine." Then we had lunch together. And good thing I was living on scholarship, so he paid the bill of the lunch. So I felt good about it. Now, after we have the lunch, he said, "You can go back to your university." I was thinking, what should I do? Whether I should ask him or where is the interview? Out of fear and out of shyness, I didn't ask him. When I came back, I got the letter that, okay, you have to join as a consultant tomorrow. So I went and joined. Later on, I came to know that was the way of interviewing me, over a lunch. Good interview, though. Now, what I need to say is, everything we talked about there, later on I realized that he was finding out how much I trust the performance, the working, the policy guidelines of World Bank. So this is what you are going to face in all interviews. Today's company will find out whether you have this component in your life. Because in workplace, if you do not trust your subordinates, you cannot function properly, right? It is seen that if the senior bosses trust their juniors, trust their workers, then the productivity increases in any organization. So when they take you, they will see, of course they will see your mark sheet, but you'll see, they will say you have got so much mark in social sciences, so much in quantum physics, things like that. But the marks will not be shown in case of trust. When they talk to you, they will find out whether you're a trustworthy person or not. So what I'm saying is, In the mark sheets, a lot of things will not come, will not be shown, but it will be wanted in today's job market. All right. So that is why trust has become such a. So if you read that, the Academy of Management Reviews, that particular journal, you will see that how trust, building trust is important. That is important in our society as well, not only in company. Today, can we really trust our neighbors? Can we really trust the persons next in my next room? I can't blame you because you can't even trust the news. Earlier there was only the news, or earlier there was news, right? Today you have so many news, breaking news, you have prime news, you have super news, you have news with somebody, all such sort of news are coming and flooding you all over, and out of that you don't know what to trust, right? So we are in such a situation of the fear about building a trust. Another, say for example, when we are talking about the community life and living, earlier when we used to have a good, very strongly bonded community life, we used to be very clear of one thing, what the Chinese would say, that you require a village to educate a child, right? The child doesn't get educated in the school alone, he doesn't get educated in the family alone, he gets educated in the community, right? So that particular situation we are missing. When I entered this particular campus, I was asking somebody, how many CCTVs you have here? I don't know why people can't live without CCTVs nowadays. We are very confident about the digital pictures of ourselves in CCTV because somebody has to look, you are not sure who is looking at you. So you require some machine to look at it. How was there CCTV earlier in our community life? It was not. Today I go to, when as a policeman I used to go for law and orders management. A lot of media people are here. They can make it a breaking news. That when I used to go there, everybody will ask me, sir, in this Puja festival, how many CCTV you have installed? That was a very important breaking news next day. 236 CCTVs installed, right? Earlier it was not there, and we did not even bother about it. Why? Earlier, what was the situation? Earlier, say for example, if my son or daughter comes late from the school, 2 hours late, say the school finishes at 4 o'clock, and he comes back home very coyly, chupchap aake, he will enter my home. Then my neighbor will see him, and my neighbor will tell him, why have you come late? I'll tell your parents tomorrow. Of course, my neighbor will come tomorrow. He will tell me, hey, your son has come late. I have scolded him, and I'll take care of it that he will not come late. And I feel good that somebody is at least taking some care of my child. Today, if my son comes late or if my daughter comes late, 2 hours, I don't even know where he or she was roaming around. And if my neighbor comes tomorrow and knocks at my door and says, sir, your daughter came late yesterday, 2 hours, I saw her. Then I'll say, look, you take care about your own daughter. She's my own daughter, forget it. Don't come here to tell about my daughter. So we have absolutely broken the strong community bond. And that's why you require a community CCTV now. Alright? So when you go back to the society again, from Napam, this is called Napam, no? This area. This is also a society, by the way. So when you go out of this university, you have to live in that community where you are detached, where you are not bonded with the community. Please try to think about it, how to get back to the society, get back to the community. And that effort has to be built up here only. I'm sorry, but that effort will not be put into digit and it will not appear in your mark sheet, right? Second thing which your mark sheet will not show is your compassionate, your compassion. How much you are actually feeling, how much you are concerned about others, whether you have been motivated to do something good to a particular person who is in pain or in suffering. That compassion feeling is not, if you are a very compassionate person, if you feel that he is suffering, he is having a big pain in his leg, I must bring some medicine and do this, that and all those, this nature of yours, this faculty will not be digitized to put in your mark sheet. So I feel this is so important, even if, as I was saying, compassionate feeling is nowadays counted very much in the job profile today's. In any interview, the board members will find out through different ways whether you are compassionate or not. Why? If you are not compassionate to your subordinates, to your juniors, then you will not be functioning in any organization. It can be governmental, it can be educational institutes, or it can be private organization. I can't be, one day one of the commandants of a battalion came to me and she told me, "Sir, I have punished such and such constable and I'm going to dismiss him." I said, "Why?" So he's a habitual drunkard. He's been beating up his wife, he's doing this, that, every day he's absent, he is absent from his duty, right? I said, no, ठीक है, तुम देख लो, that give him some punishment, see tomorrow. He said, no, he's been given hundreds of punishments in the last 17 years, right? He is incorrigible. See, then I told that commandant, I said, look, I'll give you another 1 month only. Try to put him in a de-alcoholic center. I'll give you the address of this, and then I talked to the doctor of that particular district who is involved in de-alcoholic treatment. I talked to the doctor, I said to the commandant, you please, within 1 month, you see if the person changes. And talk to the families also. What are their problems? So after a month, she came back. She said, "Sir, he's doing better, And the family members came to my house yesterday. They fell on my feet and they said that, Madam, you have done a great job by changing that person, transforming him." So what I'm saying is, removing anybody from the service was nothing for me. Just a signature of mine is good enough. But the compassion, the thinking, his service is gone, his family is in problem, then I'll make his son another drunkard? No, because there is no income, nothing, the family is absolutely ruined. So such type of things, what I'm saying is, in workplace, in governmental or in private places, compassion works very well. And there are a lot of studies also. I won't mention those, how it increases productivity. But such type of faculties are not reflected in your mark sheet. Right? So, if you do something bad, say if your children have done something bad in the exam with a poor mark sheet, don't go on scolding him or her. Think of these values, whether he has these values in him or not. If he has got these values, then every likelihood that he is going to be a good man for the society, and society will take him as a very important member in the society. Right? What I'm saying is, these are the values. If you value them properly, the society will be better off. In these institutes will be better off if you have some people like that. So, what I need to say next is, what else? What are other faculties of people that are not reflected in your mark sheet? Another very important faculty I have noticed, I have thought about, is, that is what is said, the quest for learning. You might not be doing well in the classroom, you might not be doing good in the exam, but your quest for learning is different. It has to go on. Today you are a student, after some time you will be off the campus, and you should not think that your student life is over. See, when I was doing my PhD, I think I got it registered around 2013 or 14 in IIT Guwahati on a very different topic, economics of crime. Why people commit crime? What is the economics behind it? Say, for example, I'll just tell you quickly. Say, for example, what is the benefit out of it? It was done by a very important Nobel laureate who got the Nobel Prize for this particular essay. He was a Chicago University professor, Mr. Baker. One day Baker had gone to see an opera in Chicago. Then he was trying to find out the parking spot for his vehicle. And he realized that if he parks his vehicle in a place which is designated for parking, then he pays $10. If he doesn't park there, parks in a different place which is not designated, then he pays a fine of around $20, right? Now he has to make a risk calculation, whether he wants to park it there in the undesignated places. If he is not caught by the police, he's getting the benefit of $10. You got my point, no? He doesn't have to pay any money, and if he is caught, then he has to pay double. So what I'm saying is, what he finally did, I will not tell you. He's a Nobel laureate after all for this essay. So it's a question for the criminal, how much benefits he will get by committing a crime. May not be in terms of monetary things alone, may not be only pecuniary benefits. It may be something psychological, something social. When a particular person goes to commit a crime, I have seen such person, sir, why did you commit this crime? He said, I felt like, I thought if I do that crime, people will feel I am a great man. That type of thing. So I try to find out what is the reason for the crime committed. That's a mathematical type of modeling, so I'm not bringing that to him. But what I'm saying, when I entered myself in IIT Guwahati doing all regular coursework and all, then I was laughed at by my lot of colleagues. They said, why at this old age? Though I didn't think I was old, but they somehow put, why at this old age, 4 years more for you to go out of the service. So what I'm saying is, there will be a lot of barricades like that for you in the path to learning, right? So what I'm saying is that curiosity should never end, even if your student life ends. I've seen a lot of you are going to be civil servant, a lot of you going to teacher, whatever profession. Any profession, you must not shut the door A lot of our civil servants feel they have got a very good job, and after there's no more knowledge. You know, see, even teacher. I know I'm not talking about you people, but other teachers I'm talking about. So, when they teach, they should remember one thing, that the students will come to the class for information, right? Knowledge inputs, which are already there in the whole of internet, right? You ask Google Dada and he will give you everything, whatever you want. Then why the hell you should come to the class and sit there for 2 hours? No? The teacher has to give value addition to what Google could not give. Right? So, my point is, the way the value addition has to be given by the teachers, value addition in all the steps of life for you in your job. Any government service, any private service, anywhere, you have to add value, your own distinct way. How will you add value? Only when you have the quest, you have the lust for knowledge. That is why, you remember earlier age, you have a lot of age in human civilization. Industrial age, agricultural age, sort of all sorts of things, and computer age. Now, what is the present age called? This is the age of right brain. Why? Because it is found that right side of the brain is involved in your creative thought process, right? It doesn't mean that you cut out your left brain and okay, I'm not saying that. There is a good connectivity between both the brains. So left side brain will be good at logical work, like the computer type of work. But the right side of the brain, they say, it's connected with the thought process which are involved with new creative thought process. I teach in a lot of, I teach in IIM Ahmedabad and other institutes on innovations and creativity. So what I mean to say is, the students I meet, I get so much of knowledge from them because of the creative questions, But in 2000, before the beginning of this millennium, there was an international survey amongst the intellectuals, professionals and all. They were asked, what are the most significant inventions for the human civilizations? A lot of people gave typewriter, chasma, pencil, all sorts of things. And there, those were put up in a book. But I feel the most important invention in the whole civilization of mankind is the note of interrogation, the question mark. If the question mark had not been invented, nothing would have happened in this civilization, right? We would not have come to this level if things were not questioned. If people did not want to ask questions, nothing would happen, because we are not going for a solution. So whenever I meet the students in any institutes, I ask them, please go on asking questions in the classroom. And the teachers also, I talk to those teachers, not to you, and tell them that whenever students ask you questions, please try to answer. You know why? Because some of the teachers say, "Tum bara sawal karte rehte ho, tu bach jao," There was in 1994, in 1990s, there was a state level, very important incident happened in 91 in the some president's rule declared. You remember all those in Assam. So that night we are having a wireless conference. So our police boss was saying, no breaking news, huh? Our police boss was saying that do this, that there will be protest tomorrow and lots of students will come and protest and all. But don't use force to send them away. You ensure that they go away. I asked the person, the boss, how can you expect us to send them away without using force if they refuse to go away? Then my boss said, you ask too many questions. So I tell the teachers, don't stop anybody, even the parents, don't stop your children from asking questions. If you stop them from asking questions, everything is finished then and there. It cannot move beyond that. So I would rather request my students, please go on asking. And even if somebody said, "Arey tum zyada question karte ho," forget it. Go on asking, because question asking is a must in any learning journey. Now, another very important thing, it has come to me. I have no prepared speech, so whatever comes to me, like a policeman on the street, I keep on talking. So, only thing is that let me see the time. 30 minutes, no? कितने बजे शुरू किया था? I don't know. Huh? So I'll take few minutes more and finish. So, in human civilization, I have found there is another very important invention. That important invention is called eraser. You have seen that eraser, no? Rubber bolte हैं हम लोग, when you draw with a pencil, then erase it. गलती हो गया तो erase it out. Eraser is no more there probably. You have delete key, right? You just put delete and all gone. So what I'm saying is, eraser is so important invention. You know why? Because whatever mistakes you have done, through eraser you can wipe it out, you can correct it. So life and the world are full of mistakes, right? There can be mistakes, there can be errors. These are not profound that you cannot just change it. Please have this in your mind that all mistakes can be erased out, all mistakes can be corrected. So, human civilization is today's position because of the fact that we have the concept called delete key or eraser through which we can correct our mistakes. So these are two very important inventions. I was bringing this to the question of curiosity and innovation. So in case of innovations, as I said, and creativity and asking questions, something new, innovation we understand, something new, right, which can be put into use. Now, I was wondering, in terms of when I say innovation and creativity mainly has been tracked biologically to your right side of the brain, then I'm sure after I get out, one of you will ask me, sir, it is already there, why should I come to the class? When I was born, that means those lines, those spots are already ingrained in my right brain, so why should I come to Tezpur University? It's not that. Even it has been found scientifically that training, education, all sorts of things have very wide impact on increasing your creative thought process. Only thing is that you should have an environment in that way. See, a lot of times what they say, oh, creativity is God-given, because you look at Beethoven. He was such a God-given gift he had about music. Of course he had, but since 11 years he has been practicing music very, very intensely. That particular, that particular tendency to learn and the way of learning, etc., are so important that we forget after some time that we just say it's God given. So please try to be creative, not about learning poetry like Kuladhar Saikia writes sometimes. I'm not talking about that alone. Creativity in terms of everything, something new. You know what? Your very favorite friend called Facebook, you know, your Facebook or any search engine, so as to say, or all the social media platforms, they have millions of problems in every day. All different sorts. Those have to be fixed. Now, they will take who? They will take me, who has got 95% in physics or in mechanical engineering or in computer science. Will they take me, or will they take a person from history who has new ideas, new thought, his way of resolving problems? They will definitely take the other fellow who has that particular trait in him. How to solve a problem. The problem solving through creative thinking will be chosen by multinational. This is not theoretical. I'm talking about from my practical attachment with a lot of my multinational corporate big bosses I meet when I teach them in management houses. They say very clearly that we want persons not from the mark sheet alone. We want persons with certain traits and faculties which are not there in the mark sheet, like trust building, like compassionateness, the compassion of the person, the empathy, his team building effort. I'm sure you people have been asked to do certain things together, syndicate writing and things like that. So it's the sort of team building has been taken up here, I'm sure, very well, and I've seen how the concert was played. It is such a team building effort. So all sorts of things are counted today in your job market, in your social life, when you want to connect with the people. You know what they are talking about during my biodata? They are talking about my project Prohori amongst the marginalized tribal groups in Kuladhar area, where in 2001, when I looked at, I came back from World Bank placement to Kuladhar, very good transition, Washington to Kuladhar. So there I was posted as DIG of that area, and I was looking at the old cases and I found certain cases where unidentified dead bodies are found. It comes as a small news in the backside of the newspaper, somewhere interior page, and nobody looks at it. Then I tried to find out what are these cases about. I came to know these are the women folks, mostly tribal women, who have been killed, who have been tortured, who have been maimed in the name of branding them as witches. That all the problems in the village arose, all the children fell ill because of the curse of these women. And the woman doesn't know anything about it. Why she has been branded as a witch? When I started talking about it, my fellow friend just said, "Sir, why are you putting finger there unnecessarily? We have a lot of work to do. A lot of thieves around, we should catch them only." I said, I could have left it like that, but what I'm talking about, the compassion and empathy, you put yourself in the shoes of those women and the men who have not committed any crime, who even do not know why they have been branded as witches, and all ominous things have been happening in the village, and the people think it is their fault. No? So we decided to fight a war against it since 2001, and it has spread to all Assam different villages, and a lot of social action groups have come now. They have joined, women groups have come. Good thing now it has become from the interior page, 2-inch news from the newspaper, it has come to the front page. When a particular person is maimed or tortured or killed in the Namole, which it has come to the front page. This is what we feel is some sort of social actions required from all of us, when we can't be just oblivious to what is happening in the society. No, this is what is empathy, this is what is compassion. And when a policeman gets a chance, he talks too much. With these, with all due apologies, I want to be off the stage now. I'm very thankful that you have called me here, such a prestigious institute, and I'm speaking here to talk to you. And this opportunity has been given to me. I'm very thankful, and wonderful university. I've come after several years, and that time I came to give talks in some of the departments here. Thank you very much, all of you.